They claim that our eyes will just be created a slightly different from what they are. We talk these things are not normal.
Welcome to Strange Familiars. How are you doing, Allison?
Okay.
You excited for Halloween?
Sure.
This is a bonus Halloween episode for everyone. This is a talk that John and Tyler and I recorded in our recent visit to Indiana. So our witnesses there, who we call John and Julie, they own a cabin that's maybe a quarter of a mile to a half mile away from their house. Probably just about the same distance away from the Witch Diggers property. For some reason, they had never talked to this person about strange happenings. And it turns out, for years, this person living in the cabin has been having what sounds like Bigfoot activity. And we got a chance to interview him. We were able to go to his cabin and record there and see the sites where all this happened. This guy showed us where he saw, what he saw, described right there on site. It's pretty neat stuff. Before we get to that, as we're headed up to episode 500, we're getting closer and closer. Now, I haven't even listened to the interviews from Pine Ridge yet. Hopefully they all came out and they're all usable, because that's what I'm planning to use for episode 500. I'll have to start listening to those soon and editing those together soon. The plan is to have the interviews with the folks on Pine Ridge Reservation about their Bigfoot encounters be episode 500. As such, we are promoting a nonprofit there at Pine Ridge. It's Kaya.life, KIYA.life. And we're asking people if they're able to support Kaya.life. They are residents of Pine Ridge. So they're right there. It's a good organization. If you can support them and help what they're doing, that's our way to sort of pay them back for the stories that they gave us. Kaya.life. There are links in the show notes. All right, let's go ahead and hear this conversation with Clarence and the Bigfoot activity he was having around the cabin there.
Yeah, you can tell them how it started, what you see.
Recently, just the last few nights ago, right down here in the creek, it sounded like I was out here. It's about 10 o'clock. That's a bed. You can tell it's a rock bottom.
Yeah,
the creek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was standing out here and just goofing off with the dog, and I heard what sounded like two big rocks hit another rock, just. And as soon as it done it, I was acting goofy. I went, whoop, like that. And over here, just a second I done that, I heard two whistles just like that.
Wow.
Gives me cold chills. And I thought, I don't know if there was something signaling something else or what, but then it got quiet and never heard nothing the rest of the night. And that was recently. That's just a couple of nights ago. But the main, they ain't been that much this year. 2 years ago, it was everywhere. It was off the chart.
Is that when you moved? How long have you been here?
We had moved here. No, we've been here, going on 5.
Okay.
Time gets away. I
Yeah.
I'd tell. I
The
would have swore
first,
2
the
months.
first 2 years we was here. The first year we was here, we was hearing stuff. We're fresh here, so. And then the second year, Well, the second year, there was always deer. I mean, there was 20 deer right here in the grass. Every evening they'd come out. And I'd throw an apple out there, and they'd come close to me and him, eat the apple, and then walk around. That was the first year or two, and then all of a sudden the deer just disappeared. With no deer nowhere. Turkeys, we counted 32 turkeys right here one night, and you seen no turkeys in 2 years. But the second year we was here, you'd hear whoops. I mean, just over here you'd hear a little whoop, whoop, whoop. They'd do it 3 or 4 times. Heard tree knocks. Be sitting out here late in the evening, and it was during close to winter, about this time of year, or it may have been winter. You'd hear back in there, and I know that other road's way over there. There shouldn't be nobody in here.
Yeah.
No.
And you'd hear, and sometimes I told her there's a little stick right there. I'd hit that log, and it would come back twice. And we'd sit there for a little while, and I'd say, we're going in. You know, I've heard them up on, there's a hill. I don't know, I've been down to the creek, but I know there's a hill up there. I've heard knocking up on that hill. I've heard tree fall on that hill. I've heard right down in that corner of the pond, in the woods, what sounded like 2 people talking, but it was like, you couldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
And that tree right there on the other side of the pond, that big tree, twice, once last year, once this year, up above them limbs that's right there, there was a whole limb pulled off and thrown in the corner of the pond there. And if you go down there now, you can see where the limb comes out and it's been broke. And I can't reach it. It's higher than that. There was a print right there of something right in the corner.
I think I sent it to you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't long after that, I picked the limb up and drug it over here. Come out, and the limb broke off again, about 9 or 10 foot up there. Like I said, you can see where it's been pulled back, kind of splintered back, and it was thrown in there again. And then one night I was out here, I was sitting there because I smoke, and I come out because we don't smoke in the house. I come out here and sit, and usually around dusk or dark is when all this was going on. 1 o'clock in the morning, sometimes when I'm laid off, I get laid off in the winter. So I'm laid off from December to March. And I'd be out here. Sometimes I'd hear stuff and I'd sit out here 2 or 3 hours listening to stuff. And one night I was sitting there and I seen something, some eyes. I had a flashlight because we got them 2 dogs, got one inside and one outside. And when we let them out, there's coyotes all over. You hear them all the time over here. So we take the flashlight and look around before we let him out. And I shined right maybe 10 foot from the garage, that corner. And I seen something looking back at me, an eye. And I know there's a ridge there, but the eye was like way up. It was way up. And I kind of watched it till it disappeared. And I kind of went ahead and was shining on the dog here. Well, I glanced back and I seen it come. See that tree with the nest, that fork? I seen it come down and disappeared into that little valley. And then next thing, it was wintertime, there wasn't these leaves. I seen it at the base of the tree. And it looked like, the eye looked like it was like here. And it went up the tree. I kept the light on it. It went up the tree and I hit it with the light like that again, and you could see right up in that fork like something was behind the fork, like it was hiding. And I could see on this side of the fork, I could see its head and part of a body on the side of the tree, but I couldn't tell what it was. It was too big to be a coon or anything, or a possum, so I hollered at her. I said, come here, look at this, what is this? She come out, I shine light up there, and it's red eye. And right in that fork, you could see one eye in that fork, and then it would come over, you'd see two, then it'd go back, and you'd see one. And we were standing right here, and from here to there, me hitting it with the light, you could see it blink. You could actually see that red eye, that lid go down and come back. And she turned around and said, I'm going in. And I sat there until, it was still there, and finally I went in. And I said, I don't know what that was, but from here to there, if you can see its eye blink, I said, it's big enough, I don't want to fool with it.
Heck yeah.
I mean, you could actually see like that.
Right.
And it was a red eye. It closed, and we stood out here we probably stood out here for a half hour, shining the light up there, and it just stayed up there.
And given the distance from here and the width of that tree in connection to these eyes, how far apart would you say those eyes were? Inches wise.
Oh, when it's
looking hot.
They was, well,
given the size.
When it, like I say, when you could see one eye, but when the other eye come out, they was probably that far apart, and they looked like from here they looked that big.
Wow.
So
they
at
was
least
probably that far apart.
Wow.
That's like 16 inches or so.
And it would move back to where you could see one, and then the other one would come out.
Could you get a sense of it was probably dark, but could you get a sense of like the silhouette of it, or?
Well, all I could see was a head.
Yeah.
And the only time I could see it was when it came completely, it was like a knot on the tree when you only seen one, but then when it moved it, and you seen both, you could see a black, just a big, and like I said, and you seen the eyes, and they was they was probably that far apart. And the eyes looked as big as softballs from here.
Wow.
And the one, when it would move back, and you only seen one, that was the one that I would catch blinking. When both eyes was out, it didn't blink, but the one, it blinked. And it was freaky, I'm telling you.
Sounds like that.
I mean, I've been in the woods all my life hunting and everything, and that, I've never seen nothing like that.
So what'd you think when all this stuff started happening?
Well, when we first moved here and started hearing it, I thought somebody was just out there goofing around. I told her.
She's drinking again.
Well, it would always start calmly. It'd start like right after dark or 10 o'clock at night, and I'd be out here and it'd just be a subtle whoop, or it'd be a. It was the same tone. It never went up or down.
Yeah, we heard that right down there. Oh yeah,
heard that. Yeah.
And it would do it a couple times, and I would be sitting out here, and I'd sit and I'd hear it, and when we first got here, and I'd tell her, I'd say, come out here, listen, and she'd come out, and we'd sit there, and we'd hear it there. Well, the next time you hear it, it'd be down here. And I said, you hear that? And she said, yeah, what is it? And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know what it is. I said, surely ain't nobody this time of night back here in them woods.
Yeah.
And what would they be whistling at? And then when we heard, whoop, I said, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. And then we heard like that against the tree. And it would be one. It'd just be one starting. And usually that comes from right back in here, most times. And we got to hearing that, and I told her, I said, let me hit, I'll see if it calls back or whatever. So I hit the side of the log right there, and it'd be like 10 minutes. I mean, it'd be dead quiet. Then all of a sudden you'd hear it. Like that. And then it got to where it was a game. I would sit here and I would come out, and if I heard a whistle, I'd be like, you know, trying. And sometimes the things, whatever's there, would whistle back. Sometimes if I whooped, it would whoop back. If I hit a tree, it would hit back. But I never did. That was the only thing that I actually ever seen was the eye. But I've heard from that garage, and a lot right there. The freakiest thing was, like I said, right down in that corner, not at the pond, but down in the woods. I sat out here one night and I heard just like two people
Under that for a second.
couldn't talk. And that was too close, so I went in the house.
Do you spend any time in those woods, like for hunting?
No.
Do you hunt here or in area?
No. This summer, I went down just because I was curious about what I hear.
Yeah.
I went down to the creek down there, and I walked around and up the logging road that they'd built.
Yeah.
I walked up and actually found a piece of ginseng. I told you up there behind the chicken barn. But no, as far as going, no. I mean, one thing, because he's got hunters and stuff, you know, and everything all the time, so
Yeah.
I don't want to be mistook for.
So listen to this.
Yeah. Not two or three of them, though, but it.
Wait. Hold on. Just let it go. Just let it go. It'll get there.
That's a human saying back to him.
Yeah, okay, but it was more.
Wait.
That's it. The loud ones are people.
It's towards the end.
Yeah. Like their tongues was twisted in their mouth or something. They couldn't.
Yeah.
But it was two different sounds.
Yeah.
It was one was a little higher pitch, and the other one it was like.
Yeah.
And then the other one's like.
You've heard that too, then?
That's Sierra sounds.
That was right there.
I don't come out.
You know.
You come out late, but John, Tyler, Tim, Amy.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Amy.
Introduce you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I stay inside most of the time now because it's
Yeah.
just too freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually thought he was losing his mind there for a while. I was like, "You're silly. You watch too much TV." Because I read, he watches TV, and you watch too much TV. And he's like, "No, I promise." So then he started bringing me out, letting me hear and see. The eyes, the footprint, and the tree, that's the things that sticks in my mind
So
the most.
when in the order of things did you find the footprint? Was that before or after you saw the eyes?
It was before the eyes.
Before.
Well, you found two. You found
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
the old
Yeah.
picture. Then we had the
Yeah.
three-toed
Yeah.
deal this year.
The one was before the eye.
That kind
Yeah.
of muddy pick.
Yeah.
pick.
That
small ones
one
this
was
year.
a couple years ago. The other one was just
This spring.
last year, this year, yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
It was this
Yeah, I
year.
sent it
Yeah.
to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But both times the tree limb's been pulled off when I seen the print and throwed. I ain't talking just one little limb. I'm talking bush out like that.
Long limb.
leaves on it, and it's that big around. And then I seen the print right at the edge of the pond. It looked like they was two like this, right at the edge of the water, and the limbs right up here, and they was about that deep. These two that I seen, and then seen the one over there in the edge of the water in the mud.
Yeah.
Were you ever able to make out toes in any of these prints by chance?
No.
Okay.
No. Now in the one, it was kind of had the curve like a human foot, but it was like that long. It kind of curved around, come back to a hill, and it kind of went up like this, but you couldn't really make no.
Okay.
Well, you could kind of see a little,
Sure.
like a, yeah, if you looked close, but it wasn't real defined. But yeah, and it was about that wide.
Yeah.
It was. I'll tell you, 2 years ago was the time to be out here.
Well, if it's not too much to ask, should you guys ever find any kind of a clear footprint, if it's possible for you to kind of like maybe put something over it, preserve it, and like contact Alex, like I'll come out here and try and get this like cast. If you happen to find one, if you can preserve one, if you happen to see one, it'd be really great. I'd be very curious to see him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just
like
something to
that.
keep in mind.
I've been down in the woods maybe twice in the 5 years we've been here, and I ain't been very far. But now, like I said, when I found that ginseng up there, just here in the last few months, I went down and I walked up. That's the reason I went up the logging road. I thought, well, as much as the stuff that we've heard, maybe I'll find something. Maybe I'll see something.
Yeah.
And I seen what looked like a cat track or something. It was probably a bobcat. We got a cat, and it's too big for his. But it was down next to the creek down there. But other than that, I didn't. Plus, I had a dog running beside me, and I was half looking, half just walking around,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just looks.
That's weird. Looks like
9 by
a three-toed print.
9 by 5, 9 by 6. There was the original. Same spot. Kind of see it hooked around here. It shoots at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This,
Yeah, that's
So it's kind of a, sitting in here in this mud spot
yeah,
off this rock.
interesting.
Like you said.
And that was
some definition.
that was at the base of that tree.
Yeah, we can go there.
Yeah, I'd like to look.
It's dark, so you can still talk, but we can.
Yeah, I was just looking at this woodland on the map. It's pretty deep. How much of that? Where's your boundary at now?
Well, there's a 40, so it's a 40 square. Maybe 440 in from the road, and then it butts up to that little white barn down here, which is a rectangle of 25 next to it.
Yeah.
So
You'd be okay with us exploring this at some point?
oh yeah, and then that logging road would be the place to camp. Right in here you're talking about.
We're talking about maybe camping in here this week.
like that. I ain't heard nothing other than that rock, and that was just the other night. That's the first that I've heard since last year. But and then last year it's dead quiet. There was nothing. But the first 2 years, it
Right
was,
in here, the water's up a little. It was down this summer. They're right in here somewhere. I remember.
yeah, it was right straight out there.
Okay.
And that branch.
Yeah,
We-
see that tree limb?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? That's
They're
just
both of 'em.
Them are black locust. Black locust is like a tree of steel.
Yeah, it's
Tough.
one of the hardest
And
ones.
that dude, see the far one was ripped off of there. There's nothing that
Yeah,
breaks
there's
it
one
off.
on the other side over there too.
Yeah.
And then the other ones was
That is interesting. I can't really think of any reason that would break off
Yeah.
otherwise.
right about here. I seen two, one like here and one like here. And they was, you could tell that it wasn't the same foot or nothing, but I don't know how that one off. And like I said, you see the side here where
Yep,
the
it kind of
bark's been
peeled back, yeah.
peeled. Yeah. And it was thrown right there, and I pulled it out and drug it over there. And it wasn't 2 weeks later, there was another one laying there. So I pulled it out.
You can see that split right there.
Yep,
Yeah,
you really
some
can.
bark slipped off of it.
Yeah. Like it broke it when it's green, you know? And it-
Yeah.
Take a
Hold
look,
it
it's like that and hit it
backwards,
with the forerunner.
Yeah.
It'll stand, it'll kill you.
Oh yeah.
You see them around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a lot of locusts back home.
Okay.
I'm real familiar
Yeah,
with
they're
it.
tough. Super tough.
Yeah.
Oh, farmers like to use them for fence posts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. It's very interesting.
I mean, whatever it is, it ain't never bothered me. You know.
Well,
I mean, it kind
Yeah.
of freaks you out a little, but
Yeah.
and when you come out, sometimes you get the feeling something's watching you.
yeah.
Yeah.
The hair stands up, but as far as I've not seen nothing other than the eyes. Physically, I would like to see something step out, but
Yeah.
you know, but
From your perspective of all this going on, what's the kind of vibe you get from this interaction you have? What do you think it's doing? Or what's it feel like to you?
I think when we first come, like I said, the first 2 years was the most activity, and I think it was more or less checking me out because his place was empty when we come. And I don't know for how long, but I think they was whatever it was checking me out and maybe wanting to see if I was going to bother it or not. I don't know. But
So you think it might be like a curiosity?
yeah, I don't think it was like territory or nothing like that. If it was, like I said, that little dog we got, he runs all night long.
What do you think the purpose of this might have been?
That I fish. I come out here and fish all the time, and during the summer, I'm out here at 10 o'clock at night still. I mean, I'll come down here at 7 o'clock, and I walk around. I bass fish, and I throw it along the edges, and I'll fish till dark. And actually, me and her's been out here, right there on the dam, fishing, and right back behind us here. Whoop! And she said, "I'm going in this." Here's the pole. I said, well, I ain't. I'm gonna keep fishing. I said, hell, if it's going to bother us, it'd have done got us. There ain't no way we could have got. So I just went ahead and fished, you know. But I don't know if that's to say, hey, you know, we was here before you was, or what. I don't know what the reason.
We were just having that kind of conversation before we came over here.
Yeah, I don't know why the limb, or maybe the, you know, say, yeah.
Sometimes,
Oh, he's here. Solar light, piece of solar.
That dog probably drug it around here from we got on that side of the cabin, we got some.
sometimes I think it's almost like counting coup to them.
Huh?
Like counting coup. Like, it's like they want to say, like, I can get this close if I want to. Because I was camping one time, I was woken up by wood knocks. I had him, could hear him walking around the campsite. In the morning, I had my pack tied to a tree, and I pulled my pack down. I untied it. I didn't look behind it. It was by paracord, and I pulled it around, and on that paracord was an old rusty bed spring. I'd been twisted into that paracord. It's like,
Yeah.
and you could see in the ferns behind the tree, you could see it had walked up, and there was an old rusty bed spring, or mattress, whatever, box spring, and it must have pulled a spring out and twisted onto that paracord. I say it could have been a person, but if it was a person, they were brave because we were armed, and they're coming up on our campsite.
Well,
But we heard, like I said, I was woken up by knocks. Like I woke, it's like 3:30 in the morning. Crack, 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 crack.
oh yeah,
I woke up and,
that reminds me. Why you go ahead?
but that was my feeling. Like it was saying, like, I can come right into your campsite. Didn't hurt us
Well, you
or anything.
think it was letting you know?
Yeah, like I can get as close to you as I want, you know?
That's what I feel like this was.
Yeah.
And the googly talking, it was right here in this valley.
Wow.
And I think that was,
Yeah,
That's called the annulus.
they was either talking about us or something. I don't know, because me and her was both out there when it done that.
Mm-hmm.
And the knocks and stuff, I don't know. I don't think the knocks is towards me. I think it's to each other.
Right, yeah.
Because I would hear one here, and I would hear one up this way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would hear back there in the distance, maybe a couple knocks, and then this one would knock, and then that one over there would knock.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I don't think the knocks and the whoops was towards me. I think that was to them.
Yeah.
But this, I think, was to say, hey, you know, we see you out there fishing. We know you're there, but we was here before you was.
If you like Strange Familiars and you'd like to help us make the show and get extra content besides, you can become a patron at Patreon. It's patreon.com/strangefamiliars. All of our patrons get commercial-free versions of the weekly shows, as well as extra episodes monthly. We promise at least one show every month, exclusive for our patrons. Often we do more. This month we should be doing 2. I already dropped 1. There should be another patron episode coming this week as well. Again, it's patreon.com/strangefamiliars. There's also an option on Apple Podcasts. It's called Patron of the Strange there. If you join on Apple Podcasts, you get the commercial-free episodes weekly, as well as the bonus episodes monthly. And I want to thank all of our patrons everywhere, no matter where they're signed up. Thank you for your help. We could not make Strange Familiars without you.
Mentioned something about some chimes or something.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. When you said that about that, right there at the bedroom window on that side of it, there's 5 or 6 wooden fish hanging on a stringer.
Mm-hmm.
When we got them, they was the color of the cabin. The paint's all wore off them. She painted them 2 years ago. Painted them white, all white. And this was. It was probably fall, end of summer. We had the window up. We were sleeping with the window up. And she woke me up and said, "What is that?" And I said, "I don't know what." I didn't hear it at first. And then I heard it again. I heard it then. And she wouldn't even get out of the bed. And it sounded like something took them fish and banged them against it was like against, you could hear it in the wall. You could hear it in the wall on the outside. And they done it 3 or 4 times, and then it quit. I told her I to close that window. Pull them curtains. Yeah. But that was kind of weird, because it was that wood hitting that log. You could hear it just. They just bounced it 3 or 4 times, the whole bunch. It wasn't just one fish. It was like ting, 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 hitting the wall. And done it. And
what are you guys getting back in there? What are you guys doing back in there?
Peeing.
Oh. I thought you.
Well, we found something.
Yeah, we get something good that I didn't get.
No, it's getting colder on the pee. The other thing that was mentioned, maybe you asked him about this while I was doing that, but there was a time where you heard like children laughing or playing or singing.
Down that way, the creek runs down to the road down there.
Yeah.
There's a rock bluff right here, right behind the garden. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that until just here lately when I went down over the hill, but. Back that way towards the road, yeah, one night. Well, actually 2 or 3 nights. I know the people across the road's got some girls or a baby up the road. I don't know exactly where they're from, but I've seen them walking up the road. They're like 14, 12, 14. But I seen them one time sitting on the rock. When I come home from work, they were sitting there. There was still daylight. And they waved at me, and I went on. Well, I never seen them no more, but on back this way towards me, a few times I heard what sounded like girls, and I just assumed it was them. Sounded like little girls, but it was like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, listen, them girls out there laughing and giggling and carrying on. And I said, but they ought to be in the house. You know, sometimes it was 12 o'clock. And like I said, they're only 12 or 14 year old. I don't know.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be out. He wouldn't let them out.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't think so. And the dogs, his dogs, it seemed like when something's happening, every dog in the neighborhood is barking.
Mm-hmm.
They got two over there that'll just woof, 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 woof. Then there's one or two up there, woof, woof, woof. And then ours will start, woof. And then it's all bark, and then they'll just all shut up. And it'll be like 15 minutes, you won't hear a word. And then they'll start again, woo, 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 woo. And then they'll just shut up. And then eventually they'll just quit all night.
Heard a whoop over here.
Did you?
Yeah, I heard it.
Ooh. Like that.
Yeah. Really?
Yep.
I didn't hear it.
About this direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
You heard it, Tim?
Yeah, I heard it.
I heard
Heard something. I couldn't
Well,
tell exactly what it was, but
I thought it was an owl.
I hear it.
it's an owl.
That's
It's
an owl.
an owl. Yep, that's what it is.
That's an owl.
That's an owl. That's what it was.
Could it, yep.
Well, there's big owls in here. Always seen big owls. Huge. Hunt in this area.
How huge?
Massive.
That's a big owl.
About wait, so how many feet tall is that owl that you've seen?
I don't know. 14, 18 inches probably. Biggin.
That's only well. We said stuff's big here.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
hear the owl
big great horn.
carrying on. I hear the
Yeah,
coyotes.
people hear
Usually
it.
there's nothing stirring when I hear everything else.
Yeah.
You know.
That would be on the excessive side of great horn, but
That
I
would
guess
be.
not impossible.
Not impossible. So what do you think it is? Obviously you don't really know, but based on your experience, what's your take on all this?
I mean, I've seen stuff on TV and heard people talking, everything, but I really don't know. It's like I told Alex. With what I've heard here and what I've seen on TV and everything, it all kind of matches, goes together. I mean, it's all about the same. They don't. If it's anything, it don't bother me. But I'd like to know. I wish whatever it was would step out one time so I could see.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, the noise and the carrying on after the first 2 years, you know, she's still scared to death of him today. But I haven't. I've heard stuff, and I grab the flashlight and I'll come out to the woods, and she'll say, "Don't go out there." And I said, "It ain't going to bother us, whatever it is. You know, we've been here 3 years. It's had plenty of time.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
if it wanted to hurt us, it would."
yeah, like
So
you said,
I don't feel threatened.
hadn't messed with your dogs.
No.
Yeah.
And like I said, that black one, he's on the porch now, but there's a dog door that it's got an actual door that I can latch him in there at night. And I put him in there because of the coyotes that I've heard all
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
And in the morning we unlatch it and he just goes in and out. He goes in and out all day by himself where he wants to go, but I don't latch him. I don't lock him in till 10 o'clock at night. So I've come out and him be down here. You know, I've hit him with the flashlight. And we got a cat that we let out. He comes in and out when he wants, and 10 o'clock we go to bed. I've actually had to come get the cat right here. You know, I'm surprised coyotes ain't got him, but we left him with his claws and stuff so he can get, you know, maybe get up one of them trees if he has
Got a
to.
little
but
defense.
the dog will, he chases the deers when the deers are here, but the deers have got so used to him, they chase him back half the time. the last few times I've seen the dog and the cat and the deer all crowd up down the drive there where that tree fell down.
All of them sitting there.
The deer was laying on the ground, the cat was on the tree right beside him, and the dog was sitting beside him. I said, well,
That's amazing.
yeah. The dog, sometimes when it gets dark, like I said, I don't know if it's deer that he's hearing or what, but he will come, he sits out there with me when I'm smoking, and I usually smoke 9:30 before I go to bed, and he'll come bouncing down through here and head right down into the woods there, and there was a time or two that he'd come right down to about here, and he would not go into them woods for nothing. I told her, I said, come here, look. Any other time he just bounce, and right on into the woods. But there was a couple times it was after dark, and he just bark, and he run down here just hard as he could, and he get right here to this high grass and just stop, dead still, and would not go in, turn and come back. I never did hear nothing, but for some reason he wouldn't go in the woods a couple times. But I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
That's the honest answer, really.
Huh? And I can't really say, one way or another till I see something.
Yeah.
But I know I've heard plenty. I've heard enough to make me think there's something around here. And I don't know why the first 2 years it was so heavy and then it went a couple years. Like I said, the deer was, when we first got here, the deer was here, and then they disappeared.
Yeah.
There wasn't hardly none. Like I said, we counted 20-something in the backyard right there. And right now there's 3 coming up here every night and sleep underneath that cedar tree, or right here in the grass, 2 babies and a mama. And they're used to me. I come out and they just lay there, and they're used to the dog. As long as he don't run after them, they'll just lay there. And they're still there in the morning when I leave at 4:30 in the morning. But the deer, the first year, they was everywhere. The second year, we heard all the noise. There probably wasn't 2 deers.
That's how it was my house.
And then the last year and a half, there's been about 8. We counted 8 out here just a couple weeks ago that had come back. But then when noise starts, it's like they clear out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I never heard nothing for 2 years until a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Heard that right there, that rock. Where the lights are, right straight over top of them is where it sounded like. And it sounded to me like we got that fire pit. We went down and collected them rocks down at the creek. It sounded to me like a pretty good sized rock. Hitting another rock.
Wow.
And then the second it done it, I heard a stick snap on the ground right there in the clearing where the power line is.
Yeah.
And I was standing in the screened in porch and I went, whoop. And when I did, right over there is when I heard,
Yeah.
and it done it 2 or 3 times and then quit. And then I never heard nothing the rest of the night. And I come back out 2 or 3 times listening to see, but it was, I don't know, gives me cold chills just talking about it. Hair stands up because it's not really not knowing. I know there's something. I don't know what it is, but I think I know.
Right.
But until I actually see something, and when I seen them, I told her, I said, in order for an eye to be that big from here to there, and then when you see 2 and they're like a foot between them, I said that
Big thing, big animal.
that kind of goes along with what I think's out here.
Right. Yeah. Also, there's not many things with red eye shine. I wrote about that for a book I wrote, and there.
And it was as big as a softball.
Not
like
many
I said,
things.
You could see like that.
Yeah.
the ridges.
Wow.
It slowly disappeared, and it slowly opened back up. And it was just the one eye.
This is kind of an odd question, but with all the other strange noises you've experienced here, has there ever been a moment in time when you've heard music in the woods that you can account for? Odd music you couldn't place.
I don't know. I've not really paid any attention.
Okay.
I mean, if I heard music, I would think that
Maybe
it was
just sure.
Neighbors or
somebody.
something. Yeah.
Sure.
What about weird lights?
Light.
Any?
No, I don't think of.
Well, for what it's worth,
We got a cat that roams around
sure.
that is not ours. That in the house that she's seen it and I've seen it. That
Oh, like a ghost cat.
yeah, that it's
Oh.
a shadow.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like- it's our cat's yellow and white, and this is black or gray, and you see it out of the corner of your eye. She seen it one day, and she was telling me about it, and I said, I think she told Alex about it, and I said, oh, I kind of just blowed it out of my mind, and she's still asleep or something. And then that's been 5 or 6 months ago, and then a few months ago, I got up in the middle of the night and went into the kitchen, and just right underneath the kitchen table, come from the kitchen table to the living room, and I seen it out of the corner of my eye, and I seen it, and I thought, what, the cat's outside, what? And then it hit me, that ain't even the same color cat as we got, so, and then it wasn't there, and I said, I told her the next morning, I said, I seen your cat last night.
Oh, that's funny.
That's not nothing. I mean, that's
Well, for what it's worth, you might find this interesting, but it's not the first time when it comes to strange noise I've heard about children laughing or talking in the woods, places like this. There are things that sound like little girls or little.
Yeah, and they really wasn't talking, but they was giggling and laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like they was having a good time.
I've even heard of this kind of thing. Particularly, what was described as it sounded like a group of little girls laughing and running through a cave deep underground when many people are witness to it. So you hear this come up.
Yeah.
Once in a while in these
when
strange places.
I heard that, it was this time of year or even snow on the ground. I told her that, I said, that sure ain't them girls. I said, it's too cold. And it'd be 10 o'clock at night. I said, it's too cold for them girls to be out. They'd be freezing to death. And from the sounds of it, they're having a pretty good time. But it was more back this way. Like I said, when I seen them, they was right on the edge of the road. You come around that curve, there's a rock they were sitting on it. And that was 10 foot off the road. But what I heard was more back towards the edge of the garden here. And I heard it 2 or 3 different times. And it was later, almost dark or after dark, that I heard it.
So does this drop off into that rocky ravine then, back there? Okay.
To me, the whole story of the Rocky Ravine, the county road, as soon as we pop out this driveway, down just a little, the next driveway was the old road that went through. If you look on the old maps, it shows kind of a dotted finger coming up through here. So me knowing this, if they ever traversed this whole block, the only way you could get through is right down this ridge. It tapers enough that you could have crossed and went anywhere.
Yeah, you showed us that when we walked down there that day. Okay, so that's right back here then. Okay, all right.
Or they could have come around the back of the cabin, same way, and traversed. This is gentle enough. They could have, horse buggies, whatever, a trail to go on down and cross back up the next ridge, Scotty's. Anywhere else it gets a little too steep. They could have, we have some, but this would have been the best.
How far back does that creek hook around?
So you got two. You've got the main one that goes straight south, and then, so basically you've got one ridge, creek, this ridge, creek, another ridge. Ridge, little creek, heading east, and the main one's going south. You just drop on over 200 yards, you're in the little one, 150 you're in the big one.
Okay.
They come together right down here.
The little one is the one that runs back by where they were digging, we think. Yeah.
No, this one does.
Oh, this one does. Okay. Oh, the big one does.
hooks
Okay.
around.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, the little one, it ain't me to him. Solid rock. It gets a little wider in places, you know, twice, 3 times that. This one's 20 foot across, you know, but how we ride our bikes, you don't even get your feet wet in some spots.
Right. But all that's right there. Okay.
All right.
Well, this was really
Yeah, thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, appreciate your story. What do you guys think about it?
I look. This is what I do. I mean, this is what we do. You know, this is technically my job, or at least part of it. I run into this, and I hear the same stories from people. I've heard people tell me, not exactly the same, but pretty much. And it's I see eye shine, I see this, I hear this. Sometimes it's the unknown language, sometimes it's laughter, sometimes it's whistles, whoops, sometimes it's all of them. And then the things that come up, like, oh yeah, I also have a ghost in my house, whether it's a cat or people see, weird lights or orbs and stuff. It seems to go hand in hand with this stuff, which why, I don't know. It sounds weirder than a monkey. That's all I'm saying. Like, it sounds weirder than a monkey in the woods. What that means, your guess is as good as mine. But this is all stuff I hear. Like they're like patterns. It's like patterns you hear when you talk to people. Pennsylvania, wherever you talk to people. Indiana, down south, it's in New England. Wherever I've talked to people out west, it's like these patterns are the same. So. I'm not going to say it's Bigfoot either, right? I'm not going to say it, but it's certainly like these kinds of things seem to accompany when people will see creatures, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of what you said, I think, with what Tim's saying that just pertains to that repetition. In fact, an interesting detail, not to make it sound like I'm hyper-focused on this one detail amongst the many, but one of the reasons I was really surprised to hear about like these children that you heard or what sound like kids is before we came out here for this trip, I wanted to ask that question, and then without me even prompting anything like that, we had caught word that you had heard this, and it was like there's no reason in my mind that you should be able to predict certain aspects of something, and if it wasn't real, it shouldn't be predicted that way, especially when it's such an odd detail you don't typically hear. That's something you don't really hear a whole lot about ever, but it happens enough where it's part of that pattern, and it's interesting that you got to experience that. I think it's a very rare thing, but very special and intriguing.
The knocks and the whoops was constant the second year. I mean, every night. And it was so much that, like I said, I got used to it, sitting out there. Sometimes I just come out like on the weekend, Friday night, and I'd sit out there till 1 o'clock in the morning just to hear, but the thing that freaked me out the worst was, not really worse, but what was totally different in all of it was the googly talk right here that made me think, whoa, because I was sitting there and like I said, it was between there and here somewhere, and it was at the edge of the woods, and it was like, whatever that is close enough. Are they talking about me? They see me and they're talking, or I didn't know. And it was just in one location, and when I heard it, it went on for like 5 or 6 minutes, it seemed like.
Wow.
And then when it quit, it quit. There was no sound, no nothing the rest of the night or nothing. But that was odd to me. Like I said, the rest I'd heard over and over and over, and you kind of get used to it if you hear it all the time.
Yeah.
That I'd never heard, and when I heard it, it kind of stuck in my head, and then I've never heard it since then. But
yeah, that would. Yeah, and the other thing, like, I think your attitude's right, because as long as we've been doing this, as long as I've been doing this, going in the woods at night, I've never been hurt. I don't know anybody that's been hurt by this stuff. Yeah. It's creepy. It gets, like, I'm not gonna lie, it gets scary sometimes, but I've never been hurt, So whatever it is, like, if they are what they say, they could probably rip your arms from your body. Yeah. They don't. They don't. They're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, when I would sit out there in the winter and hear stuff, I'd get the flashlight and I'd tell her, I said, it'd be snow on the ground. I said, I'm going to go back here and see if I can find any tracks or anything.
Yeah.
I get about right here and it's like, I really don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't go back.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I tell you, like, trust your gut with this stuff too. Like if your gut's saying, maybe not.
That's okay.
Yeah. But
we'd be churchgoers and stuff, and every time something, me and her get talking, I'd tell her, I'd say, well, in the Bible it says there was giants.
Yeah.
Then and now.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if it's the same thing or not. I said, I don't know. Just because I ain't seen it don't mean it ain't there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I ain't seen that I believe's there.
You see that?
I hear it.
Something almost like lit up over there.
Oh, really?
Was it red? I saw like a red light. Like over here for me. It was brief. Red
Oh, yeah?
light.
No, I saw something just come right through that section right there.
I saw a red light up here, right around the time you said that.
I hear a deer moving through there. I think it's a deer.
I think maybe what I saw was a deer.
Okay. Yeah,
It wasn't red, but it was just...
it sounds like a deer.
Yeah, I hear that every time right
I mean,
now.
there could be like a plane over here. I just can't see, but I did see like a.
Oh, up high, you mean?
In the breakup,
gotcha.
like a red. But it was right. It was right when you had said that. Like,
No, I think what I saw was a deer, and I think given the conversation, I was like, whoa.
sure.
Yeah.
It's
It sounds like a deer moving.
them three.
Yeah, they're probably coming to lay down and wondering why we're bugging their stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, we're here until Sunday, so if anything happens, let us know, and we'll run down. We're just up the road.
All right.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I mean, he never mentioned nothing about this till last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
he didn't really show me
It's
that
kind of a
track.
weird thing
And
to
I'm
just
like-
drop on someone,
I'm like,
right?
Yeah, see, we'd seen that track,
That's when
and I took a picture of it
Now
on my phone.
What else have you
and
seen?
She said, what are you going to do with that? And I said, I don't know, I might, ask him if he's seen anything like it. Well, when I sent it to him, he said, I'll be down there in just a minute. Stay there. He comes down here, and he goes, is that all you? I said, boy, let me tell you what.
Yeah, I was like,
It's been 3 years.
Only knew.
The first 2 years, I said, it was every day. I said, and I was afraid to tell anybody. And when I was afraid to tell anybody, because I don't give a what anybody thinks about me or not.
I don't either.
But
Now.
it kind of wanted to know. That's just the way I am. I'm not going to tell you something unless I know.
Sure, yeah.
Because but yeah, it was like, if I'd have known that you was up there and I could have talked with you about everything that's been going on, we'd just been keeping it to ourselves, me and her. And like I said, and
I think that happens a lot.
and it was keeping her so scared. I leave at 4:30 in the morning, and she don't leave till 6. And she was getting scared just going out and getting in the car in the morning. I said, still ain't got her completely convinced. I said, if something wanted to hurt you, it's had plenty of chances.
That's and again, like
That little bitty door ain't going to stop it.
we're out in the woods in the middle of the night, and it does get scary as heck sometimes.
That's why she put that pumpkin right. She hates that window.
But we've never been hurt. We've never been hurt, and I've had things that sound like bulldozers running through the woods, and it stopped before it got to me. Yeah, I've never been hurt. So,
Well, on your, I know you're like, I don't care what people think. But at the same time, I'm curious, if you don't mind me asking, with you getting to the point where you believe there's something here, would you like more people to know that maybe this is real? What are your thoughts on that? Where do you stand? Do you think people should know? Does it not matter?
Well, it depends on how they're going to react to it. I
Perceive it.
whatever
open
it
your
is.
mind to it.
Yeah, if it's somebody, I wouldn't want to see nothing get hurt or anything.
Well, yeah, sure.
Like I said, because it ain't bothers us.
Sure.
So, as long as even if it came up to the door, if it didn't threaten me some way, I'm like, live and let live, I mean, that's the way I'm with people. You do what you want.
Yeah.
It ain't none of my business, you know. Same time, my business ain't none of your business, you know.
Right.
But I think I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Sure.
You know, because the more people knows, then the possibility of harm coming to something, and
Sure.
you know, government wanting to check out what it is.
Sure.
If they don't already know.
Right.
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know either.
You know, you never know what somebody else knows. But
That's interesting.
if it was let people know and everybody be climbing the woods and, you know, with guns and stuff, that, like what you guys do, you're not threatening it. So
No.
Sure.
that, if you want to walk around the woods at night and look for it, you know, but you got 15, 20 running around guns trying to kill one.
Yeah, that's bad news.
I'm not all about that. I mean,
Sure.
That's when that's my fear. They got groups down south that are trying to kill one. I don't think they're ever going to do it.
No.
But my fears are going to hurt a person. You know, they're getting so excited about this stuff. And there's people shot every year with people thinking, oh, I thought he was a Sasquatch, and they shot him. It happens, well, maybe not every year, but every couple years you hear about somebody getting shot.
well, and they say they got to have a body, you know. Scientists not in order to prove that, you know. So yeah, if it's what we think it is, and anybody ever gets one, you know, it'll just, I don't know.
Right.
I don't believe in, like I said, it don't bother me. So
There you go.
hey,
Honestly, I think
Pretty good.
that's the best way to be with it. It's, you know,
I'm
I
sad.
find it super interesting.
I'm satisfied with what I hear and what I think
Yeah.
I know, and it's there. I know whatever it is there. I don't know what it is, but I know it's there. But
John and I were up at Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. We were talking to Native Americans about it, the Lakota. Everybody there we talked to, except for one person, had a story.
Yeah.
Every single person, and there's no question to them whether it's real or not. You don't have to prove. Everybody there, really interesting, very, very interesting. To them, it's like it's normal. You know, it's just normal.
here's those fish. That light comes on every time. I had to put that up because she wouldn't come out. I'd come out and say, if it's dark, always dark. But yeah, we had the window open and we heard this.
Oh yeah,
And then it just quit.
yeah. That's not the wind,
Never
probably.
got, no, there was no wind blowing at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I got up and looked out the window and never seen nothing. I told her, I said, just shut the window, pull the curtain, and don't worry about it. I said, don't worry, you're going to stop nothing, so just go back sure. All right, shut up.
If they are what they say they are, they can come through the wall of your house. Probably they don't even need a door.
Yeah, I mean, if there's signs and everything, and you know, there really ain't a whole lot you can do to.
Yeah, no,
Clarence, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Great to talk to you. Thanks so much. Thank you for your stories.
Talk to somebody about some of the stuff, you know, that, like I said, I don't know what's going on, don't know. I know it ain't people,
Yeah.
No.
but I know 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and and like I said, part of it was in the winter with snow on the ground. So I don't think nobody's back there walking around.
No.
No, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
No. Thank you guys.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Squatchtober's winding down. It's almost over. A few more chances to grab some original Bigfoot art. I drop them every day between 10 and noon, usually. A few more chances to pick one up, and then I'll probably be doing Monstrous March repeating it in March with more than just Bigfoot. I can draw all kinds of creepy stuff then. So this was quite a success. Thanks, everybody who helped out with that. You can also find original art at our Etsy shop. Our shop name is The Lost Grave. If you type in Strange Familiars, you should see our stuff come up on Etsy. There's also links in the show notes. I've got original art there. I've got prints of my artwork there. My books are there. If you get them from Etsy, we'll sign them before we pack them up and send them out. Strange Familiars t-shirts, including the new blueprint of the Eyes of Night, which I'm currently wearing. The Strange Familiars Awoken Tree logo and more. We got Strange Familiars patches, mugs. Allison has various bits of ephemera up there. The curiosities of the week are up there, those that haven't sold already. You can check out everything. Again, our shop name is Lost Grave. Links in the show notes. And if you're supporting us on Etsy, you're helping support the show as well. Thanks, everybody who does that. Anything to add, Allison?
No, sir.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back very soon. Should be one more Patreon episode this week, as well as the regular Thursday episode on Halloween. Happy Halloween. Strange Familiars is a production of Dark Holler Arts. Intro and background music is by Stone Breath. If you want to hear more or purchase music, go to stonebreath.bandcamp.com. We're on Instagram at Strange Familiars, one word, no underscore. Give us a like and a follow there, please. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/Strange Familiars. The Strange Familiars Gathering group is there as well. For Strange Familiars merch, the place to go is strangefamiliars.com/merch. And we're always there at strangefamiliars.com.
Want to continue spooky season after the 31st? Would you like to dive deeper into the world of the paranormal, the occult, cryptozoology, and other unexplainable topics? Then the Strange Realities Conference is the right one for you. Live and online in Nashville, Tennessee, November 1st and 2nd at SIR Nashville, and November 3rd online only. Strange Realities Conference 2024 will feature presentations by Tim Banal, Nathan Isaac, Kendall Lackey, Brent Rains, Micah Hanks, Ren Collier, Joshua Cutchin, Recluse, Nevaeh Terry, and Steve Berg as your Master of Ceremonies. Online with presentations by Soraya Ascath, Timothy Renner, Katie Andrews, Robert Guffey, Greg Bishop, and Becky Ann Galantine. Tickets are $70 in person the whole weekend or $30 online and are available at strangerealitiesconference.com. Don't miss this amazing opportunity to learn from some of the best spooktacular minds in the field of the paranormal.
Since the dawn of civilization, a man has looked to the skies with the question, are we alone? For centuries, we've tried to explain the unexplainable and justify some of the world's greatest wonders. The Great Pyramids, Stonehenge, the incredible statues of Easter Island, sightings of UFOs all across the globe, and then one day in 1974.
An unidentified flying object that reportedly fell from the sky Saturday night into the silt pond adjoining the Carbondale Area High School football field and emitted a bright glow for 9 hours still remains as far as Carbondale police are concerned.
Several explanations were offered to the public, but the mystery grew and became woven into the culture of our great community. Area 51? Overrated. Roswell? Never heard of her. On November 9th, we celebrate the event that put Carbondale on the map. The first annual Carbondalian Festival will take place in downtown Carbondale and celebrate all things supernatural. Come and join us for an epic event unlike any you've ever seen. Awesome vendors, live music, special guests, and interactive activities for the whole family. Don't miss the opportunity to experience what's sure to be the first of many events showcasing our city's rich and colorful history. We'll see you there.
Go to carbondalianfestival.com for more information.
Shouts and dreams are slippery things that
pray. Petals fall upon the earth, and vines wind round the stone. Grass that grew so suddenly is covered with white snow. Voice that gleams,